And it's a very good afternoon to you, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the Boys World Cup Tournament. And we're broadcasting live from Blacktown International Sports Park on this Sunday, the 5th of August. And this is a tournament that brings together tremendous spirit, passion, talent, and cultures, all with the one true love, and that one true love is baseball. And as we did say, it is Sunday, the 5th of August, and we're about to get underway very, very shortly. And it is the matchup between the Fresno from California taking on the Navy Roos. And joining me in the commentary booth here is Mackenzie Payton. And good afternoon, Mackenzie. And what do you think so far of the games and a little bit of weather conditions?
Yeah, good afternoon. I think this is the best afternoon that I've seen here in Sydney. It's beautiful, it's sunny, and we just had a wonderful lunch here at the welcoming luncheon, I guess you could say, and we saw some dancing, we ate lots of food, and I think we're excited and ready for this afternoon. As far as baseball, we saw a pretty decent game this morning. We saw Korea taking on one of the USA teams.
Alameda.
Alameda, yeah. And Korea, they just look strong in this tournament.
They are, well and truly. And again, also the Japanese team. So two very, very strong teams that have come through and made the trip across the Pacific and landed here. But very shortly, as you can see up on the screen, you can see it is pre-game situation where you've got staff from Blacktown Venue Council, venue management, watering the skins, and the ground looking a little bit tired at the moment, purely because it is winter in Australia, and the warm season grass, it's a couch grass that's actually there at the moment, does have a tendency to turn a little bit cold once the soil temperature gets down below 19 degrees, and we've had several frosts over the last 2 weeks, and that's also sort of made it a little bit straw colour. So, and on top of that, we're going through drought, so so everything's against us, but we still have a smile on our face. And it's going to be a wonderful afternoon and into the evening here at Blacktown International Sports Park. Weather conditions, not a cloud in the sky. Just looking out the back as well, and not a cloud in the sky. And breeze, I think it looks like it's actually picked up a little bit. It is blowing from the southwest, which is a good thing. So it's just going to keep the temperature a little bit calm. So not too bad. And whilst I have the opportunity, I'll quickly run through the defensive lineup for Fresno, because they will be taking the field. And they're going to be taking the field, and it's going to look something like this. Out at left field, it will be Dylan Nishimine. The centre fielder will be Julian Lopez. At right field will be Emilio Luna. And on the infield, at the hot corner, is Jaden Garcia. The shortstop is Aviram Ramirez. At second base, that will be AJ Rocker. At first base will be Jackson Caldera, and starting on the mound for Fresno will be Elijah Lopez. So that'll be the starting defensive lineup for Fresno, and just sort of having a quick look there. So you got Fernando Garcia as the manager, Joey Lamont the coach, Adrian Flores the coach, and Juan Garcia. So that's the coaching staff as well. And the managers meeting, they did have a meeting before the watering was undertaken, which I thought was a little bit odd, but the water cart came out a little bit early. But however, these things happen. As like everything, you just adapt to what's ever in front of you, as you know. And Mackenzie, you said that there was a bit of a welcome ceremony and barbecue, so that was just held down on the bleachers there. So a bit of, did you have a go at the didgeridoo?
No, I did not. I do not think that I would have been good at that. But, some of the boys that went out there, they gave it their best shot. I can say that.
Yeah, well, I think there was one of the fellows from Alameda that had a go, and it got a good tune. It got a good tune
Yes.
out of it, to say the least, and it was very good from some of the local, indigenous people that came down and did some traditional dancing and some of their tunes.
Yeah.
Because as we know, that the event in front of us is all about cultural and friendship series. So it was actually very nice to see.
Very nice. And then, the Taronga Zoo, they brought out some reptiles and some other animals. And I heard one of the boys was so excited that he got to touch a snake. So I'm sure that they really enjoyed that.
Excellent. That's brilliant because, everyone says, oh, they're cold and clammy and, scaly things, but quite smooth.
Yeah.
So that's good. And the batting lineup for the Navy Roos, as we get into it, will be Lewis back, followed by Brandon Tangaroa. Cameron Duckfield will be batting in the 3. Chet Robinson, clean-up. Josh Beasley batting 5. Jake Quinlivan at batting 6. And batting 7 is Alex Trattles. Batting 8, Jackson Forbes. And in the 9 hole is Jackson Garth. So that's the way that they're all going to come to the plate. And again, the game is scheduled to be a 7-inning game or 2 hours and 15 minutes. Or as we've seen in other games over, I think it's the last 3 games that we've been a part of, there's been the run differential rule that kicks in from the 5th inning.
Yes. And that's 10 runs through 5 innings. So.
And we're expecting that this game to be a pretty close matchup.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. As you can see here in this shot, that the sun is starting to get into the pitchers and on the defenders' faces. So we'll see how that plays out. This is the first time the sun's really came out, I think, in the past 2 days. Yeah,
well, it's actually going to be quite interesting because the way that it's the ballpark is structured, the shadow of the grandstand. So you've got the pitcher who full sun. So and then halfway along it's going to turn dark. So it should be quite interesting as we see the first pitch about to come in from Elijah Lopez, and he is throwing to Jaden Gonzalez, and first pitch is out of the zone. So obviously it's going to take a little bit for the guys to adjust for their first couple of at-bats. As we see the next pitch. And again, that one a little bit to inside. So, a little bit of patience by Lewis Back, the designated hitter, wearing number 1 for the Navy Roos. There's one that he actually liked. Good clean. It was roughly in his zone. He thought he'd have a shot at it, but a little bit too quick. So Lewis Beck, the count 2 balls, 1 strike with the next pitch.
There was that outside pitch that we've been seeing. The umpire staff here in Blacktown, they've been calling that for 2 days.
Yeah, and you actually see it a lot in the our local leagues as well. So whether or not it's just the way, as we see that one go foul down the right field side. It is a spot where a lot of our local umpires do actually call. Just adjust to what's there and play what's in front of you. So 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Line drive up the middle.
Yeah, well hit, line drive straight back. Nothing you can do with that. So Lewis back gets on board, courtesy of his single to centre field. And that's going to bring to the plate number 13, the catcher, Brandon Tangaroa.
Coming to the plate for the Navy Roos, number 13, the catcher, Brandon Tangaroa.
Yeah, so Brandon Tangaroa, as you might have heard from in the background, from ground announcer, Chris Maitland. Chris Maitland been around baseball and broadcasting for many, many years. And had the pleasure of working with Chris for several years here at the venue doing some ground announcing work. One of his last major jobs was Olympics. So, so as we just see that first pitch to Tangaroa is a ball. And then Elijah Lopez, pitcher, he just a little bit more of an adjustment and gets into that outside edge for 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner on first, not taking too much of a lead. So looking for the hit run, and there we go. Not much you can do about that. So you had Aviram Ramirez, the shortstop for the Fresno team. He takes a running, diving catch and is able to double it up and just tag, because we had Lewis back who had taken such a big lead that he thought the ball had gone through, but instead he just got tagged on the side. So pretty as you like, the 2 up, 2 down. And that will bring to the plate Cameron Dutfield in number 2, the centre fielder.
The line drive into right field.
And was that the first hit, first pitch, or was that second
Yes,
pitch?
that was the second pitch. Second
pitch. So, there we go. And and that's going to bring to the plate Chet Robinson, number 44, the third baseman, in the cleanup position. So unfortunately, with that double play, by Brandon Tangaroa, has put themselves a little bit behind. And first pitch that Robinson sees is in there for strike 1. And looks over at the third base coach and picks up signals. And next pitch,
off.
High and inside, but he liked it and had a bit of a chop. But has now just put himself into a little bit of a hole. So 0-2 with 2 out. And Cameron Dutfield standing at first, courtesy of his single. Plenty of time being taken by the guys. A little bit too outside. So I know they're generous, but not quite that generous. So that's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just a tempter. And as we see this one, it's high. There's certainly a high fly ball at Julian Lopez, the centre fielder for Fresno. He's got his sunglasses on because, as you did mention, Mackenzie, the sun is well and truly bright. But Julian Lopez covers a lot of ground, gets underneath the ball, takes the catch to end the inning. So no harm done. And as we're going to go into the bottom of the first inning with no score. Back shortly. And welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park, where you are listening to the Summer of Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia, as we go into the bottom of he sees the first pitch, likes it, has a shot at it.
Is just to get
Strike. It was a deep show. So a triple to. So Fresno certainly coming. Aviram Ramirez. So a job to do. Ramirez is just obviously going to try and put bat to ball, so if they can score the first run of the game. But he's got 1 ball, 1 strike. And next pitch from Pello is a little bit high. Good location, but just a little bit high. And I'll run through the defensive lineup for the Navy Roos very shortly. As the next pitch is a ball, and I thought it was 3-1. Wait and see the umpires. Yep. There we go. Next pitch coming through, and that's a comeback, straight through the middle. Nothing you can do about that at all. So Ramirez, he picks up an RBI single. And Fresno go ahead 1 run to nothing.
Crosses the plate to be the first run from Fresno, and now at the plate, number 22, the second baseman, AJ.
So now coming into the plate is the cleanup hitter, and second baseman, number 22, AJ Rocker. Again, well-built young lad. And just gets the end of the bat to it. Not a lot of power at all. It moves the run around to second. And I'm actually just looking, and it was AJ Rocker who actually had a go on the didgeridoo as well. And
yes, it was.
just noticing the build there, he was one of the ones that actually got a decent sound out of it.
He acted like he knew what he was doing with that.
He went out 4-3 for the second out, but Ramirez stands at second, and that's going to bring to the plate the catcher number 21, Jaden Gonzalez.
That was a beautiful pitch right down the middle.
Again, is in the wheelhouse, and the boys want to have a swing, which is good. Now I'll quickly run through the defensive lineup. We've got Jake Quinlivian out at left field, Cameron Dutfield at centre field, and Cooper Garth. That's the outfield for the Navy Roos, and I'll get to the infield after this next pitch. So on the hot corner, we've got Chet Robinson. Jackson Forbes is the shortstop, Josh Beasley at second base, and Alex Trattles at first. And the battery, we have Tom Pellos on the mound, and we have Brandon Tangaroa behind the plate. Oh, that's about a 55-footer. Gets away well and truly from Brandon Tangaroa. Didn't have much of a hope even to block it.
That's going to move the runner to third. They're in good scoring position once again. 2 outs, 1 ball, 2.
Tees off on that one, and down the.
That was foul.
Yeah, it did go foul. I wasn't sure whether or not the guys climbed the net just and resets. So off speed, but a little bit too. So is that 2-2? A good strong hit down into the hot corner, but Chet Robinson, equal to the task, picks it up cleanly, throws it off to Alex Trattles over there at first for what goes down in the book was a regulation 5-3, and so no more. And welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park, where you are listening to Mackenzie Payton and PMAC here as we're covering the 2018 World Boys Tournament. As we're about to get in front of the game here, we've got top of the second inning. Leading off for the Navy Roos is number 26, the second baseman, Josh Beasley. And the first pitch coming in from Elijah Lopez was a ball. And next pitch, a little not quite adjusted right, and that one's outside as well. So we've got two balls, and now we just see a hard hit ball hit into Jaden Garcia in the hot corner there, and he picks it up nice and just sort of has a little bit of a bobble around, but still able to stop it, but throw not in time. So a little bit unfortunate there for Jaden Garcia. Did all the hard work, got it. Stopped it from going through the infield, but unable to make the throw in time. So Josh Beasley gets up there.
He had a really good game yesterday against the Koreans. It was like they couldn't get anything through to him. He was stopping everything and making plays, and he held them off for a good bit of that game.
Yeah, he looked pretty solid there. It was just unfortunate the throw was just a little bit offline, but yeah, as I said, it was a hard hit ball, and he did all the hard work by stopping it.
Yeah.
Jake Quinlivian in the batting box, the left fielder, number 6. There's a quick pick-off attempt from Elijah Lopez.
There's a good crowd here for this game. There's a lot in the stands. I guess it warmed up quite a bit, so everybody wants to sit in the sun.
Stolen base there by Josh Beasley. Yeah, it's a wonderful Sunday afternoon here in Sydney, and I think the game on Diamond 3, I think that's a delayed game, because I know that certainly on Diamond 2 there's a game that started a little bit earlier than this game. So yeah, everyone's sort of hanging around after what was a very big lunch, to say the least. I believe that there was a lot of food for everyone. So if you went hungry, it was only your own fault. There was plenty of food, as well as the entertainment as well, because it was very nice of the tournament organisers to arrange for the entertainment, and very good, because I had to put my head on from the point of view of yes. The end of the day, a lot of the guys here, they are only kids.
Yeah.
And seeing the entertainment there, it was audience participation, and they had a good time. So it's pleasing to see. As Jake Quinlivian takes another pitch, and he's got 1 ball, 2 strikes. In position. And it's well
today, and they're both very good defensively.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be a game of defense as well.
And as we see, Forbes, he just has a comebacker that goes straight to one bounce to Elijah Lopez, the pitcher, who has a breath, turns around and takes his time, throws it for a 1-3 for the third out with no damage done to the scoreboard. And we're going to go into the bottom of the second inning with Fresno leading 1-0. Back shortly.
Jaron Brass.
Now, as we're about to go into the bottom of the second inning, leading off for Fresno is the designated hitter number 17, Jared Braz. And at this stage, no changes to either side. First pitch is off-speed curve, and I think that's where we're going to start seeing the shadows from light to dark. Oi.
Ooh.
Oi, oi, oi. A little bit loose. So we've got 1 ball, 1 strike on Jaron Bratz. And just tries a fastball, but a little bit too low, and probably also a little bit inside. And there is another game after this one, and I think it starts around about 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the first times that we actually get to see Japan on the broadcast.
It is, yes. Japan's playing. Let's see.
Go to the research department.
Japan is going to play the Skyroos. I have not seen the Skyroos play.
Okie doke. And as we see, the designated hitter Bratz, he gets it was a tailing line drive to right field, and it just sort of tailed well and truly away from Cooper Garth, the right fielder, and gets himself a stand-up double. So a good way to lead off the ballpark. Right field, his first at bat this afternoon. And inside out, and it looks like it might be taken comfortably by Cooper Garth, the right fielder. And Garcia unable to move the runner around, so he holds his ground there at second base. So certainly turned him inside out, and that's going to bring to the plate number 34, the left fielder, Dylan Nishimine. And again, first at bat for this afternoon. Saw the first pitch, liked the first pitch, but unable to make contact. So
I think he was a little unsure of that one for a second.
And again, that might be just that light into dark.
Mm-hmm.
He got in front of it very early.
That was a good stop there by catcher.
Well and truly just doing the right thing, because obviously when it's bouncing like that, don't try and pick it up, just block it, put it in front of you.
Yep.
It's 1 ball, 1 strike. And Brant still comfortable at second. So we've got a fly ball. So where did it go?
Caught by the first baseman. He was looking right into the sun, so that was a really good snag there.
Yeah, so the foul fly 3 for the second out, and that's going to bring to the plate first baseman number 7, Jackson Caldera. So number 9 hitter in today's game for Fresno. Oh, that one just went well and truly nutmegged young Brandon Tangaroa. Straight between the legs.
That's going to move the runner over to third into good scoring position.
Okay, so we put the kiss of death on the catcher because stops a more difficult one, and that one just well and truly between the legs. So yes, runner well and truly on third base, and that one's fouled down the first base side by Jackson Caldera. It looks like they might have run out of balls. So they've got to go chasing it. There we go. There's some coming from the dugout.
That shadow is really starting to cast out there on the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, give it another half hour, everyone will be happy.
Yeah.
Because it's nice and even. A little high and tight for another ball. I think some of these boys might have had some red cordial as well. And that one is just a one hopper to the third baseman, Chet Robinson, who takes it quite comfortably and very confidently, but also looked very relaxed.
Yes.
And he just dished it off to Alex Traddles over there at first base for a 5-3 with no damage to the scoreboard as we go to top of the third with Fresno 1, Navy Roos yet to score. And welcome back to the matchup between the Navy Roos and Fresno as we're about to get underway in the E. And doesn't appear to be any defensive changes made for Fresno at this moment in time. And first pitch, Cooper Garth has a hack at it and he just fouls it straight back into catcher and umpire's gear. So we've got one strike only on Cooper Garth, right fielder for the Navy Roos, and his first at bat this afternoon.
That one was a little too low and outside.
Yeah, just trying probably a little bit too hard to correct. Get the location set from Elijah Lopez, the pitcher for Fresno.
That one was also just a little too low. That makes it 2 balls, 1 strike.
He couldn't have missed by much on that one. So 3-1 for Cooper Garth. Lead off for the Navy Roos. And there's one that was actually right in the hole as we actually just see a lot of ground being covered by Julian Lopez, and I think he might have actually grabbed that.
Yeah, he dove and he caught it.
Sensational play by Julian Lopez. A great set of wheels, and he covered a lot of ground and on full stretches able to make that catch. So sensational stuff here to deny Cooper Garth from a hit. So you did make mention before about it's defensive teams.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
That's the kind of play that'll keep you coming back right there. That's the kind of catch that'll keep you coming back.
Exactly, exactly. And again, it also throws more confidence in, it gives Elijah Lopez much more confidence on the mound because he knows that he's got the other 6 or 7 boys behind him.
Yep.
And as we go back to the top of the order for the Navy Roos, Lewis back. He's in the batting order, and unfortunately there we've got Emilio Luna. He's on full stretch, but he's unable to make the catch, and as a result, Lewis Beck, he gets on board courtesy of, I'd say again with the the amount of effort taken, I'd actually still be giving him a stand-up or a double because he wasn't a stand-up because he had to slide.
Yeah.
So that puts a runner in scoring position. So Lewis back gets himself into scoring position for the number 2 hitter, the catcher number 13, Brandon Tangaroa. Again, it was a full outstretched dive by Emilio Luna at right field, but unable to glove it.
Little inside and high there.
Yeah, just a little bit of get off the plate. just move him back just a tad. And now maybe you'll just sort of work that outside edge again. Now that he's pushed him backwards just a tad. Catcher Jaden Gonzalez tries to frame it, but not so much.
They're really trying to get that outside pitch called.
Yeah, that one's just down on the third base side of the ballpark here. And again, as we made mention before, then you may be able to see it on the screen that, yes, although it's a long shadow, but it's an absolutely glorious day in Sydney. It's a winter's day, but still currently running at about 24, 25 degrees with a slight breeze that it's just like a spring day more so than anything else. As the next pitch comes in, and it's just a little bit outside. And, Jaden Gonzalez, the catcher for Fresno, if he probably just only a couple of inches or a couple of centimetres either side, and he's going to start getting those ones called. But just making Lopez or pitcher Lopez's job a little bit harder. As we've got a ball that is, I think he lost that in the sun.
I don't think anybody called that one. I just think there was no communication there between first or second and shortstop.
Yeah, okay, so it ended up falling a little bit as was described before, a Bermuda Triangle between everybody. It just fortunately or unfortunately, goes down as a single. No one erred. But what that's going to do is put runners in first and second with only one out.
Oh.
And Cameron Dupfield, the centre fielder for the Navy Roos, he comes up with a single above the shortstop's head. So Ramirez, he tries to jump, but unable to get as high as he needed to. So it goes a single down to centre field, I think it was. So that's going to load the bases with one out. So opportunity well and truly knocking for the Navy Roos, and we've got clean-up batting number 4, the third baseman, Chet Robinson. And Robinson, he had a fly 8 at his last at-bat.
Ooh.
And there was a pitch that he actually wanted to have a decent hack at.
He swung hard at that one. That was going to be deep.
Yeah, it certainly was, but we've got the corners playing a little bit in because they're trying to stop the run, and the pivots are certainly at double play depth to try and get themselves out of the inning. And it's a great bit of adjustment.
That was the pitch he's been looking for right there.
Exactly. That is a great adjustment by Elijah Lopez, the pitcher for Fresno, and working very well with Jaden Gonzalez behind the plate. And they've just made those minor tweaking, but 0-2 for Chet Robinson.
Ooh, that was a close one. That was almost there again.
Yeah. wasn't much in that one at all. At any part of the ball, over any part of the plate. And it's coming straight back up the middle, and an outstretched Ramirez is unable to get on top of that one, and it goes down as a single to centre field. So now the scores are locked at 1-1, with the Navy Roos still in a commanding position at this moment in time because there's still loaded bases and only one out.
Now the batter is number 26, the second baseman, Josh Beasley.
So Lewis back scores on that one. And Brandon Tangaroa, he moves round to third, and Cameron Duffield, he moves round to second. As we see that one, and that one's right down into, that's along the line, and that one's going to bobble around left field. It went straight down the line, and he's going to get himself a 2 RBI double. So Josh Beasley, second baseman for the Navy Roos, comes up with a 2 RBI double, and now the Navy Roos, they were in a commanding position, and now they picked up an extra couple of runs, so that's now 3 runs to 1, with Jake Quinlivan, the left fielder, stepping into the batting box.
That looked like a little bit of frustration there.
I think it might have been more so than anything else. And we've got runner at second and third. So we've got Josh Beasley. He's standing at second. And Chet Robinson, third baseman, he's standing at third.
Only 1 out and 2 runners on base.
And that's better, a little bit more adjustment, and it's come through for strike. So we've got 2 balls, 1 strike. And it's still only 1 out. 3 runs scored for the Navy Roos. Next pitch is fouled off, back to the straight back. And that one's going to be hit well and truly hard to right field. It should be a sac fly, as we see Chet Robinson pounding his way into across the plate. So Jake Quinlivan does a sacrifice fly to right field for the second out. But more importantly for the Navy Roos, it's another run, so that's 4 runs to 1. And that's going to bring to the plate first baseman number 11, Alex Trattles. And they're just going to check to make sure that he left after the fly was taken. And both umpires agree. Just checking.
It's always good to check.
Got to check. And we are in the top of the third inning, so breakout inning for the Navy Roos. And first pitch to Trattles is called strike. And he laid down a bunt his first at bat this afternoon, and unsuccessful bunt from the point of view of wasn't able to move the runner around or get himself safe. But he has a big hack on that, doesn't get any real contact on it, and first baseman Jackson Caldera, he was having a shot at the runner coming home, but then realised that there was no time, and then tried throwing it back to the first baseman, Elijah Lopez, who was covering first, but time ran out. Alex Tuttles was a lot quicker than those two boys.
Yeah.
So, and he would get on board courtesy of a fielder's choice rather than a hit. And that's going to bring to the plate shortstop number 23, Jackson Forbes.
That made the score 5-0. Fresno.
Yeah, so you're right. The Navy Blues, Navy Roos are still not done. Jackson Forbes, he's the ninth batter in this inning. So yeah, certainly a bust-out inning for the Navy Roos. Because he came home on Alex Trattles. And that one a little bit high on the outside. It's just a little bit too high. So 2 balls, no strikes on Jackson Forbes. Shortstop for Navy Roos. Runner takes off.
I've seen a lot of stolen bases in this tournament. There's a lot of quick guys that they can get to the base really quick.
Get rid of some of their energy. Run, run, and run.
Running off that food that they just ate.
And that's ball 4 for Jackson Forbes. And that's going to bring to the plate for the second time this inning. Oh no, we're going to have a mound visit. And I don't know whether or not there's going to be any changes as such made, but because Cooper Garth, the right fielder, is about to come to the plate, and he had a fly to 8, his first at bat. So I was actually just looking at the Fresno roster, and they're probably one of the least amount of numbers that came across.
Yeah.
So yeah, they may be just in a bit of a holding situation where they've just got to bounce around with move players who, they can pitch, but they can also play in a position, or positional players.
I would think that they could all come in and pitch if they really needed to, you know. We've seen that earlier in the before game, the Alameda team, it seemed like everyone, they could pitch and be of help.
So this is number 3, the right fielder.
And so, as we had said, after they've had their little powwow on the mound, the right fielder number 3, Cooper Garth, comes to the plate for the second time this inning. And first pitch from Lopez is inside for ball 1. So 5 runs have been scored so far for the Navy Roos this inning. And runners go. So look like a little bit of a delayed steal on that, but both runners get to their bases respectively, and that means Alex Trattles is at third and Jackson Forbes is standing at second. So both runners in scoring position. And next pitch is that outside edge that has been consistently called. So we've got 2 balls, 1 strike on Cooper Garth.
There it was. That was the exact same pitch.
Unquestionable. You just look at it and you just see, yep, some of the boys have just gotten frozen. They're just saying, no, it's not. It's too far out. It's too far out. No, it's going well and truly right over the front edge of the plate from where we sit. So that one looks like it just gets away from catcher Gonzalez, but not far enough to sending the runners from the Navy Roos. So I think that should fill the count with that one. So it's, there we go. Umpire throws the signs up. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Cooper Garth. And it looks like Lopez lost him, so Cooper Garth gets himself on board. So that loads the bases. There are 2 out, and we go back to the top of the order for the Navy Roos with the designated hitter number 1, Lewis Back. And Lewis Back being productive so far in his offense. A single to 8 and a double to 9. As that pitch gets away well and truly from catcher Gonzalez again. But who's at third? Alex Tattles wasn't paying attention. So Traddle's not paying attention because he should have been halfway down the line, and he's being told by the coaching staff as well, watch the game. Heads on at all times. As we see this little slap hit that's 2 bounces into shortstop Ramirez. Oh, okay. I thought that was an out.
No. He fumbled the ball over there at first. It was just a little bit too low and just couldn't get a glove on it.
Okie doke. So that means...
it's 2 runs. So
2 runs scored.
Yes. So now it's 7-0.
So that means that Alex Trattles, he scored on the play, and Jackson Forbes went around on the play and picked up on the bobble whilst they were chasing. Okay. Well, there you go. So Cooper Garth has now moved over to third base, so that's going to put runners at first and third with 2 out. But as you rightly said, another 2 runs scored, so that's going to make 7-1 in favour of the Navy Roos. So certainly a bust-out inning for the Navy Roos. And now the coaching staff for Fresno are really going to have to try and lift the boys from, because it's been pretty tough out there with that inning. As we see coming into the batting box, the catcher number 13, Brandon Tangaroa. And the first pitch is in there for strike 1. So Lopez has a look round at the runners at first and third. Delivers the pitch. And that is a high inside fastball. But Tangaroa, he thought that it was in his wheelhouse. But not to be. He just fouls it down the left field side. I don't know whether it was actually just like swatting a fly or just preservation. Not 100% sure. Runner's gone. So that's Lewis back. So an allowed steal there. And a ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Brandon Tangaroa. And next pitch is look like an off speed of sort. And Tangaroa just gets underneath it and is able to foul it back into that split netting that is unique to Blacktown International Sports Park. You don't want to be eating something whilst the ball comes in. So Lopez about to deliver. Runners at second and third. And Tangaroa, and I think that might be all, because he only gets 3 strikes, and you've used all 3. So that will bring a close to the inning, or that part of the inning, for a very productive inning for the Navy Roos. They score 7 runs, and as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, it's the Navy Roos 7, Fresno 1. Welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park, where you are listening to the Summer of Baseball abridged version. Yeah. You have PMAC and Mackenzie Payton covering a matchup between the Navy Roos and Fresno in this the 2018 World Boys Tournament. As we're in the bottom of the third inning, it will be leading off, will be their lead off. It's a centre fielder, number 3, Julian Lopez. And Julian, he goes, sees one pitch, it was in there for a strike, and the next pitch, he actually just flies that, and I think it was the second baseman?
Yes, second baseman.
Yeah, so a shallow fly to second base for 1 out. And sure that the Fresno boys would be wanting to try and have a bit of a dig at the bats here, because they just got 7 runs posted against them, courtesy of 7 hits from the Navy Roos. So they'd be looking to try and leave the Navy Roo boys out there for a little bit longer, as we just see Emilio Luna, the right fielder, tags one, but it goes along the ground to Alex Traddles, the first baseman, who picks it up as cleanly as you like and takes 1 step to his left and touches the base. So it's going to be short at this moment in time, because it's 2 up, 2 down, and that's going to bring to the plate shortstop number 13, Aviram Ramirez, and he had a single to centre field his last at bat. But as it stands at the moment, it's 2 up, 2 down, but first pitch is inside for ball 1. And Ramirez, he was RBI single his last at bat, and as we see next pitch come in, again just a little bit short, so it was in the dirt, but we had Brandon Tangaroa, the catcher for the Navy Roos. I'll get it right eventually. Instead of staying down and blocking the ball, he's actually trying to come up with it, which is could be to his detriment. And we see he grabs hold of this one, does Ramirez, and takes that, and pretty as you like, 3 up, 3 down. A very economical job on the mound was Tom Pello as well. So weren't out there for very long at all were the boys from the Navy Roos. And also just like to tell our viewers and our listeners that if you'd like to contact us here on the broadcast across the weekend, as we've got Big Cam and Harrow back this afternoon and tomorrow and Tuesday. So there's an SMS number, and the SMS number should be up on your screen very shortly. It's +61 412 203 068. So it's +61, which is the international code, 412 203 068, and that's how you can contact us via SMS, or you can use Twitter, and the Twitter handle is @SummerOfBaseball. So @SummerOfBaseball is the Twitter handle. And don't be scared to throw your comments out there. We will respond as soon as we possibly can. And as you may already be aware, we have had to change our YouTube channel, because the other one collapsed on us for reasons unknown. So we've just had to do a little bit of juggling, and the link is still out there via the various media platforms or social media platforms. So you should be able to pick us up, do what we need to do, and by all means give us your feedback, good, bad or indifferent. We don't mind, and we'd like to send a cheerio as well to everyone that we possibly can, because we appreciate you listening to us. Now we're about to go into the top of the 4th inning for the Navy Roos, and it will be the centre fielder number 22, Cameron Duffield. And Cameron Duffield, he had a single to right, a single to 8 for his 2 at-bats this afternoon.
I think we talked about it earlier today, but these are all 15-year-olds, and they look like they're going on 22. They're all so tall.
They are some large humans.
Elite athletes, as we should say.
As we just see the first pitch, it comes in, but it's actually been hit along the ground to the shortstop, Ramirez, who picks it up and throws it over to the first baseman, Jackson Caldera. So a regulation 6-3 for the first out. Yeah, well, I keep trying to tell everyone that I'm 6'2", so when I'm seeing and standing next to some of these, and you're right, they're only young boys, and yeah, they're certainly athletes.
No wonder they hit it so hard.
That's it. And third baseman number 44, Chet Robinson, in the clean-up position for the Navy Roos. He's in the batting box. And first pitch is a ball, and then he sees another one which is right down the middle of his strike zone. He likes it. He hits it, but he hits it straight down the throat of Dylan Nishamine, standing out there at left field. And that he made that catch look quite easy, but he's looking straight into the sun, and doesn't look like he has his sunglasses on. So very good play by Dylan Nishamine out there at left field for Fresno. So that's 2 up, 2 down for the Navy Roos. And that's going to bring to the plate the second baseman, number 26, Josh Beasley. And Josh Beasley has seen 2 pitches, and both of those have been inside and out of the zone. And Josh's first 2 at-bats this afternoon, he's had a single to third base and a double to left field. So fair chances that he's going to go left side of the park. As we see the next pitch come in there, and left the bat on his shoulder.
I think that sun is affecting him now. Right there on the pitcher's mound, there's a little shadow of the sun from the top here.
Yeah, so if you throw the...
Laughing it off.
Yeah, that's it.
You have to laugh it off.
Don't have a choice. Laugh or cry. And as we see, ball 4 for Josh Beasley, puts himself on first base. And yeah, it's top of 4. And that's going to bring the left fielder, number 6, Jake Quinlivian. And he likes the first pitch, has a go straight after it, but we've got a bit of a raffle between the first baseman and the second baseman. So we've got Jackson Caldera and AJ Roche and having a shot, and it was taken comfortably at the end by Jackson Caldera. So as it stands, it's a very economical outing for the Fresno team. They're able to get 3 out with no further damage to the scoreboard. So they've shut the bats down for the Navy Roos momentarily, but they still trail 7 runs to 1. And now we're about to go into the bottom of the 4th inning in this matchup between the Navy Roos and Fresno. And leading off, it will be second baseman number 27, AJ Rocker. Oh, it's 22, AJ Rocker.
He did not like that call right there. They have to know that they're going to call that outside pitch.
It's been consistent. We've made mention, we did see in the earlier game here. It was I think it was young Woodward for Almento.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Second batter didn't like the pitch. Didn't like being called, and as we see this pitch, it's actually hit to Chet Robinson in the hot corner. Picks it up along the ground, stands himself up, throws it over to first base for a 5-3 out. But it was just one of those plays where you just sort of think to yourself, well, wait, it's only your first at bat for the day.
Yeah.
You're here for 4 days, and you're here to enjoy yourself as well. But anyway, these things happen. He got ejected for disputing, and as a result, probably embarrassed himself more so than anything else, and hopefully he learns from it. That at the end of the day, umpires, you don't question them.
Yeah, and that's what they're here for too, is to learn. They're still young, and you have to learn.
Correct. In the batting box at the moment is catcher number 21, Jaden Gonzalez. And Jaden has just fouled one straight onto the roof here at Blacktown International Sports Park. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And just looking at that shadow, it's almost right on the release point of the pitcher's arm.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit difficult for the next 10 or 15 minutes. So they've just got to sort of, bear down and see what they can do. As the next pitch comes in there for strike 2. So Gonzalez in a little bit of a hole with 1 ball, 2 strikes. And high fastball. He thinks he can get hold of it, but unfortunately Gonzalez goes down swinging. So 2 up, 2 down for Fresno.
2 outs. The batter number 17,
And now that's going to bring to the plate the designated hitter number 17, Jared Braz. And Jaron, he had a double his first at bat, and
he fouled that off. That's what they called, was that he foul tipped it.
I was just wondering, how did he get a foul tip on that?
But I mean, he was mad at himself for swinging, I think, and then it was called a foul tip.
Because it bounced about 55 feet. Wow, that was bizarre.
That's where you need a replay.
Maybe they've been playing cricket in their warm-ups. Maybe the Australian guys or their host families have been corrupting them. So, but anyway, so it's 1 ball, 1 strike, and he's grabbed hold of this one. He thought it was in his zone, and it's going to bring rain. It is that high. So we've got shortstop Jackson Forbes, who's camped underneath it, but not convincing by any way, shape or form, but did enough to catch hold. So goes down in the book as a fly 6. So 3 up, 3 down, and very quick defensive inning for the Navy Roos. And so now we're going to go to the top of the 5th inning with the Navy Roos leading this game 7 runs to 1. And as we come back to this game in front of us, it is between Fresno and the Navy Roos. We're about to go into the top of the 5th inning with the Navy Roos leading this game 7 runs to 1. There has been a defensive change for Fresno. On the mound, the designated hitter comes into the game, and it will be Jaron Braz on the mound. He's replaced Elijah Lopez. And leading off for the Navy Roos, first baseman number 11 is Alex Trattles. And first pitch from Braz was a lot quicker than what Lopez has been throwing. It unfortunately just a little bit outside. And same with the second pitch, but now this third pitch that's come through there, it's well and truly in the hitting zone, and Trattles has a bit of a hack at it, but goes straight back to the back fence.
There's definitely a little bit more heat on this ball, so you can tell that they're going to be a little late until they can make that adjustment.
Yeah, and the thing is are they going to be able to make that adjustment? Because remembering also that it's a 7-inning game or 2 hours and 15 minutes.
No.
So there we go. There's the first strikeout.
Yep.
So it was 5 pitches, and 3 of those were strikes. So Alex Trattles, he goes down on a foul tip, actually. So indicated by the umpire. And that's going to bring to the plate shortstop number 23, Jackson Forbes. Jackson Forbes, he's had a walk and a ground out so far this afternoon. And first pitch from Braz comes in well and truly on a also at a different angle than what Lopez has been throwing earlier. In there for strike 1. And next one, there's contact has been made, but it's going straight over to Ramirez, the shortstop. And a regulation 6-3 for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down for Fresno.
As you said earlier, that's just so smooth. Making that out there, just an easy play. That's just fundamental.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And the guys that, and again, I've got to keep reminding myself that they're only young boys, young men. And you look at it and they're just making life look so easy.
Yeah.
So easy.
And enjoying themselves as they go.
Correct. So next pitch to Cooper Garth. It was actually in the dirt. This one might be down the alley, but outfielders, they're well and truly making a bit of ground and unfortunately unable to get there.
Ooh.
So, just a little bit of a mix-up between Julian Lopez and Amelia Luna. I know that Luna, the right fielder, he had it covered, but it was just a little bit out of his range. And Lopez, because he was trailing behind Luna, wasn't able to take control of the catch and goes down. And as a result of that, Cooper Garth, he gets himself a double.
There was a little bit of frustration there shown by Fresno. A little bit of miscommunication.
And so now we go back to the top of the order for the Navy Roos with Lewis back, designated hitter, in the batting box. And first pitch is in there for strike 1. Yeah, they're probably thinking to themselves that they should have been out of there within the 3 up, 3 down.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's not going to cause too much damage because we've got Ramirez again a 6-3 out. So no damage on the scoreboard. Yes, pitcher Bratz probably had to throw maybe 2, maybe 3 extra pitches than he wanted to. So at the end of the day, all is good in the world for him, and they're going to come and have a bat at the bottom of the 5th, trailing by 6. As we're about to go into the bottom of the 5th inning here at Blacktown International Sports Park, we have leading off for Fresno, the third baseman, number 2, Jaden Garcia. And Jaden Garcia, he's only had one at bat this afternoon, and that was a fly to right field. And he sees the first pitch, and it comes in there for a ball. He likes this pitch a lot better, and grabs hold of that well and truly, and just a hard roller out to left field. And Chet Robinson, third baseman for the Navy Roos, had absolutely no hope whatsoever of getting that, but had a gallant dive anyway, because if you're not getting dirty, you're not trying.
Yeah.
So lead off for the Fresno side, gets himself on board. And that will bring to the plate number 34, the left fielder, Dylan Nishamine.
He wasn't too sure on that one.
Yeah, wasn't too sure. Just checking with the field umpire, who asked did he go, and was denied. So ball 1 for Nishamine. And next pitch coming through from Tom Pellos, and quick snap up to first base. So it's 2 balls. No, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah.
Everyone resets. And that one's just a little bit low. And as made mention before about that half-hour time distance, so the mound and pitching area is well and truly covered by shade. So now it's up to the pivots that are going to have the hard time. So in between the light and the dark. And we've got 2 balls, 1 strike on Dylan Nishamine. And now we've got a little bit of a fly that was heading towards no man's land behind second base, but Jackson Forbes, the shortstop for the Navy Roos, he saw it quite early off the bat, and realised that no one else had much of or they were late picking it up, but Jackson Forbes dropped in behind second baseman and took control of the catch to put Dylan Nishamine out. So as a fly to 6, so for 1 out, 1 on, and that will bring to the plate first baseman Jackson Caldera. And Jackson Caldera, he had a routine 5-3 for his first and only at bat this afternoon. And first pitch is in there for strike 1. So a good outing on the hill, and I know I've probably just put the kiss of death on Tom Pellos, but a good outing on the hill. And made it into the 5th inning so far. And has only given up 4 hits and 1 run. So is this where I've just kiss of death and then it all just falls to pieces?
Yeah, I hope not. We've already done that once today, so.
So again, a little bit too low, and I think I actually have it as 3-1.
Yes, 3-1 and 1 out.
Because a very dirty screen in front of me. A screen called a window. He's trying to work that corner, but obviously I think height might have been the issue on that one. But that puts runners at first and second. So that walk for Jackson Caldera puts himself at first, and Jaden Garcia over to second. So now it goes back to the top of the order for the Fresno side with Julian Lopez, the centre fielder. And Julian Lopez had a fly to 4 and a line drive as well. So he's had 2 flies this afternoon. So 1 to left field and 1 to second base. And first pitch is a ball. Fresno still trailing by 6 runs here. So very patient at bats.
Need to get something started here. We're about an hour into this game.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 2 hours, almost 2.
We
started a little late.
I'll look at my clock. And we got 2 balls.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that's a good piece of solid contact from Julian Lopez, a centre fielder, and it, everyone was sort of holding their breath because it looked like Josh Beasley, the second baseman, may have been able to get a glove to it, but all he was able to do was just a little bit of a deflection. But what it's actually done now, courtesy of that hit to centre field, that's loaded the bases for Fresno with only 1 out. So good opportunity, knocking well and truly on the door for the Fresno side to see what they can actually do. It looks like there might be a pinch runner going out there too.
Mm-hmm.
And the kiss of death has been well and truly put on Tom Pello. He's done and dusted for this afternoon. And I'll hopefully bring the change. It might be Zach Newbold, I'm not sure. I can't see the number, I'm just looking at the... Yeah, okay, so 78, Jack Newbold. There we go. So that is the new pitcher, so Zach Newbold. And we did see Zach throw on yesterday.
Yeah.
In one of the earlier games. And I actually saw him throwing on last Monday, actually, because he was just sort of doing some of the warm-up games, because the American teams were here a little bit earlier. Well, you know that. You were here with them.
Yeah.
I don't need to tell you that.
Yeah.
So they had a couple of friendly games, scrimmage games, sort of mucking around, which was actually pretty good. Some really good stuff. And again, just building the friendship and the cultural exchanges. All is good. So Zach Newbold is the new pitcher.
I think that's what a lot of this tournament is about too, is all of these boys coming together. They meet people from different countries. It's really funny to watch, the U.S. interact with Japan and with Korea. All they do is laugh. You'll be on one side of the ballpark and you'll hear a big oh, and they're all just laughing and having just a great time, and it's nice to see that.
Excellent, and that's what the sport and life itself needs.
For Fresno, that's Nathan Castro replacing Jackson Caldera.
Okay. So there's also been a change somewhere. So there's a pinch runner coming out there somewhere, according to our ground announcer.
Yeah, he went to first base.
Okay, so that means so that should be number 5 at first base. Is that correct?
Yep. No, 3.
No, yeah, because he had the single.
Yeah.
And in the batting box, it should be Emilio Luna, number 23. I'll try and pick up the pinch runner. And first pitch was a ball that we're just seeing a high towering fly ball to deep right field, and that should be a sac fly, and it looks like it is well and truly. So the Fresno side, they pull 1 back, and that was Jaden Garcia, who was standing on third base. He gets home courtesy of the sacrifice fly from Emilio Luna. So 7-2 in favour of the Navy Roos at this moment in time. Now it's 2 out. And Lopez didn't move, however, Caldera did. So runners at first and third with 2 out. There's Nathan Castro. Nathan Castro is now standing at third, so he replaced Jackson Caldera.
That was a good pitch, just a little bit too high.
It's an opportunity still there for Fresno. With 2 out, 2 on. Now another ball. So 2 balls, 1 strike on Ramirez, the shortstop. And Zach Newbold is the new pitcher for the Navy Roos. As Ramirez gets hold of that and it unable to do anything apart from foul it off over the right field fence. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. All the 2s. And that one's well and truly in the dirt, as we see, good bit of hustle being shown there by Nathan Castro, and he ends up pulling back another run as that pitch got away from the catcher Brandon Tangaroa. So Nathan Castro, he gets himself across the plate, and that means that they pull back one more, so it's 7-3 in favour of the Roos. And we've also had Julian Lopez. He's scampered across to third, so still the pressure and the opportunity is still knocking for Fresno.
And anything is possible, you know. The Roos, they scored.
Oi. Where is that one gone? I didn't see it off the bat.
Deep and right. He caught it.
Describe the play. Come on.
I'm not very good. I'm still working on it. I'm still learning.
Still learning? Aren't we all? That's what life is. But obviously a hard hit ball because taken well and truly deeply by Cooper Garth, but shut down the inning, but not before the Fresno score 2 runs. So tightens the game up a little bit more. It's 7 runs to 3 in favour of the Navy Roos. We'll be back in a moment. And now as we're about to go into the top of the 6th inning, it's one of the few games that we've been able to be a part of that's going the full distance.
Yes.
So top of the 6th inning, and it is the catcher number 13, Brandon Tangaroa, leading off for the Navy Roos, as we see the first pitch from Brant coming in for strike 1. So he's found the location, he's working the location, and next pitch it's well and truly in the zone, but Tangaroa just fouls it off over the stands here. So 0-2 for Brats. And next pitch certainly has a lot of gas on it, but a little bit too low. So 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The shade is finally starting to creep into the infield a little bit. As you can see, third base, he's got a little shade over there.
Might have to get the lights on, you reckon?
Yeah. Get them warmed up.
So now, we've got Bratz, the pitcher. He's just sort of got, Tangaroa in a very good slot, and it was 2 straight strikes, and then he's just thrown 3 balls, and then had to come back with a strike and just gassed it past Tangaroa, the catcher. So goes down on strikes.
At the plate for the Navy Rouge, number 22.
And now that will bring to the plate the catcher, or the centre fielder, number 22, Cameron Dupfield. And so far this afternoon, Cameron has a single to 9, single to 8, and a 6 to 3. So 2 for 3 so far this afternoon. And first 2 pitches that he's seen have been well and truly out of the zone. That one's even further out of the zone. So Jaron Braz, certainly got more velocity than Lopez, who started the game. But he settles back and takes a little bit more control of it rather than just sort of gassing, and gets a really nice strike. So 3 and 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much
Ooh.
so. Yeah.
That's why you never get too cocky with it. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Definitely. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. And now he can walk up there. That one was well and truly high and inside. So Jaron Braz puts Cameron Dupfield on base, and that will bring to the plate third baseman in the cleanup position, number 44, Chet Robinson. He's had a fly 8, single to 8, and a fly 7.
You like that one?
Yeah, but
like as I said, there's a little bit more gas on that ball, and they're swinging just a tiny bit too late.
Yeah, and looks like the time needs to be called because there's a foul ball that's been come over the fence. So the centre fielder, Julian Lopez, he's just gone to retrieve it and throw it over the fence, and just making sure that the umpires saw where he was going and why he was going. But we've got no balls, 1 strike on Chet Robinson. And next pitch is just fouls that out of play. So it's 0-2 on Robinson. He was going over to pick up the ball himself. So everyone regroups. 0-2's the count. And again, another fastball that's got him on the inside. And everyone, that chook raffle that's going up there. We had pitcher, third base, and catcher all converging in and around the dugout for the Fresno. Unfortunately, the ball goes down. Jaden Gonzalez, I thought he actually had it, but it's just the way that the ball comes back into the field of play. He just wasn't positioned right. Goes down as a foul. So 0-2 on Chet Robinson. And this one's back up the middle, and it's just going to be a nice double play there, all instigated by Ramirez, the shortstop, puts out Cameron Dupfield, steps on the base and then throws it over to a first baseman. So 6-6-3 double play to shut down the innings as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Navy is leading 7-3. Now as we're about to go into the bottom of the 6th inning here at Blacktown International Sports Park, leading off for Fresno is their second baseman, number 22, AJ Rocker. And first pitch from Zach Newbold is well and truly in the dirt and at the backstop. So ball one. And Fresno have got a little bit of wind in their sails at the moment because they scored 2 runs in the last dig, and they were able to shut down the Navy Roos for the last couple of digs. No runs have been scored in the last 3 digs. So a little bit of wind going in the favour of the Fresno side at the moment, and they're getting a little bit chirpy. So who knows? Hopefully they can bring it a little bit tighter. And they've had only 5 hits. As we just see this one, there's a lot of power behind it from Rocker, but as you mentioned before, Mackenzie, it's well and truly where the players are.
Yes. Yep. They're hitting really hard shots straight to a defender, and it's hard to get anything going when you're doing that.
That's it. And that's going to so that first out, which was a 4-3. So it's Josh Beasley over to Traddles for the regulation 4-3, and that will bring to the plate catcher number 21, Jaden Gonzalez, to the plate. And he sees the first pitch, and a little bit of laziness there by Jackson Forbes. He thought he'd actually had it in his mitt and just wasn't down far enough. And so the ball got well and truly under the mitt and rolls out to left field. So as Gonzalez gets himself on first base. And that's going to bring to the plate number 17, the pitcher, so Jaron Braz. So again, that wind of momentum still might be with Fresno at the moment.
That one was just a little too high.
So Zach Newbold on the mound for the Navy Roos. That one looked like a little bit inside. So, and don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there is another game that's scheduled to be commencing around about 5 o'clock. But given that it's 4:15, it might be a little bit delayed at this stage. But we'll check. Because we're in the 6th inning here. We're in the bottom of the 6th. So, there's every chance that the Fresno boys may be able to keep things rocking and rolling and get that momentum, or keep the momentum going.
It's not over till it's over.
Correct. That is correct. We've got 2 balls, 1 strike on Jaron Braz. And there's that outside edge again, well and truly working. But again, Braz, he didn't question it at all. He knows he's been getting it as the pitcher, so no questions.
Yep.
No issues. Now everyone regroups, and Zach Newbold about to throw the next pitch. And everyone likes it, but it's high, towering foul and into the concourse. So anyone, hopefully they weren't walking past as that one lands in front of you. So that's 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jaron Braz. There's a pick-off attempt. As we've got Jaden Gonzalez at first base.
The bench of Fresno is definitely trying to get pumped up, and they're trying to get something going here.
Yeah, they're actually encouraging Gonzalez to get off. So, they must know that he's got a set of wheels.
He does have a set of wheels.
So they're just sort of giving him nice bits of encouragement. So it's still 2-2. And another foul ball by Braz.
A lot of fight in him right now.
That's it.
I think if he gets a hold of one of these, it could be trouble for the Roos.
Yeah, Zach Newbold about to throw another pitch, and that was an off-speed pitch,
Oh,
and that got him.
he let that
Yep.
one go.
Too close to leave,
Ooh.
and he knew it as well. He knew it. Unfortunate for Jaron Braz. So he goes down on a looking strike.
Third baseman Jaden Garcia.
One of those things where he's probably a little bit dirty on himself because he was about to pull the trigger, but yeah, too close to call. Anyway, so that's 2 down, and that's going to bring to the plate third baseman, number 2, Jaden Garcia. And Jaden Gonzalez, so we've got a couple of Jadens there. Gonzalez standing at first, and Garcia at the plate, and first pitch is fouled off. And Zach Newbold still doing a good job on the hill. Oh, that's for us.
Right at
Who
us.
put that net there? So another foul ball. So we've got 0-2 with 2 out, and Gonzalez at first. And just a little bit of a half hit just to try and make contact. And looks like it actually might have got away from Chet Robinson on that occasion, which it has. But he's tried to regather and throw it over to the first baseman, but not in time. So a little bit of pressure that's being applied to the Navy Roos, and it's got runners in the corners with 2 away. And it looks like there might be a change for Fresno. There we go. I don't have a number 6. That makes it easy.
Number 6 is Chow.
Makes absolutely no difference to me. Not in the program.
Fresno, number 6, Justin Chow.
Justin Chow. There we go. Oh, there we go. They're saying Chew. So Justin Chew. We're just being corrected by the Fresno boys. So and they're even giving him the choo. There we go. Doesn't that say it all? So Justin Chew at bat for Fresno. With runners at the corners, we have Jaden Gonzalez at third and Jaden Garcia at first, courtesy of the error. And the first pitch seen by Justin Chew was a ball, and that was followed up by a second from Zach Newbold. So again, we've still got that sniff of momentum still in the direction of Fresno at the moment. But they're still trailing by 4 runs. And Justin Chew looks at this next pitch, and it's straight down the line for a strike.
Yeah, that makes it 2 balls, 1 strike, and there's 2 outs.
And Chew's got this one, and it looks like it's going to be taken. And backpedaling was the shortstop, Jackson Forbes. And Jackson Forbes takes control of the catch and denies Fresno of any further runs or bats at this point in the game. So another fly to 6. So that's 3 out. So as we go to the top of the 7th inning, Navy Roos leading 7 runs to 3. And welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park, where we're going into the top of the 7th inning in this matchup between the Navy Roos and Fresno. As it is at the moment, Navy Roos are leading this game 7 runs to 3. And leading off is the second baseman, number 26, Josh Beasley. As we've seen a couple of pitches that just gone past in front of us, and both have been balls from Jaron Braz, who had a very good at-bat. He was one of the last outs, and in the bottom of the 6th, very good at-bat, but just sort of kicking himself because he let an off-speed pitch go past him for his K. And 4 straight balls.
It's very unlike him. We've seen him. He's pitched very good since he came in. He hasn't given up any runs.
It's probably going to, again, as I said, it's just going to be one of those things where he's probably just got to get his head back in because he's probably kicking himself because he didn't pull the trigger on that one that he had the opportunity to. Now, so with a new batter, that's Jake Quinlivan. Left fielder, number 6, in the batting box. And first pitch is a ball. So he just needs to have a couple of breaths on the mound as Bray.
Oh.
No.
That one looked like it hurt. I think he's just got to, relax, and maybe they need to take a minute, talk to him, and let him know that it's fine.
Yep. Right idea and right on cue. We just see the manager crossing the line after time was called. And you're right, and that's what it is, as we were saying, because we can see that he was dirty on himself because of that strikeout. He was really dirty, and you think, yeah, okay, now it's a case of just going to have to catch up, deep breath, even if it is, do you see some pitches where they take 3 and 4 walks around the back of the hill, they'll do 3 circles, whatever, put their tongue on the left-hand side of their mouth, whatever it takes. And then you just have a couple of breaths, get your routine back together, because he's much better than what he's actually currently throwing. And we have actually seen that for, 4 innings so far.
Yeah. And he's also got to realize that he has a good defense behind him.
Correct.
So if he just gets it over the plate, they're going to make plays for him.
Yeah, because he's only had, he's faced 11 batters.
Yeah.
And, he's had the defense go with him, and he's also had, it's only a couple of Ks, but, even so, he's just doing the right thing as pitcher. So now, hopefully, that little bit of a chin wag from the coach has, just made him sort of, settle down a bit and then throw in the strikes. And in the batting box, we have first baseman for the Navy Roos, and that's Alex Trattles.
There it is.
There we go. There's the first strike, and that's all he needs for the confidence. And now he knows where it is, and then, muscle memory, that'll kick in.
Yep.
He says, hopefully.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. And he's just sort of gassed it up, just that little bit fraction as well.
And for the Roos here, you want to get a couple of these runs in just to give yourself a little bit of leverage, because Fresno still has 1 at bat left.
That's it.
And their bats are getting a little hot.
And there we go.
It is. That has to get him back to feeling good about it.
Yep. So it's 1 out with runners at first and second. And that will bring to the plate shortstop, number 23, Jackson Forbes. So well and truly, again, we're just sort of, it's confidence, and that's all it's going to take. And because we saw Fresno that they were starting to build, and that's probably, because he struck out, that's probably why he was getting a little bit sort of cranky. So there we go, 6-4-3, should be a double play, pretty as you like, straight up there, and that's the way that we do it. And just one pitch through to the defense, and that'll give the boys a lot of hope as they go into the bottom of the 7th. They are still trailing by 4, but it's 7-3 in favour of the Navy Roos.
Castro, his first plate appearance.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is the last chance. It is the bottom of the 7th inning for the Fresno team, and they're up against the Navy Roos. And it is, as we said, it's the bottom of the 7th, and we're going into it. And leading off for Fresno will be number 5, Nathan Castro. And Nathan Castro, he was put on to pinch run last time that the guys got on board, and he scored a run. So he doesn't know anything but confidence at the moment.
Yep.
And there's a lot of chirping coming from the Fresno bench at the moment.
They're for sure hyped up. They're ready to go and excited to get some bats working here.
And as it stands at the moment, he's got 2 balls and 1 strike. So Zach Newbold still on the hill for the Navy Roos. So he'll be there to no doubt for the duration. But so it's 2 balls, 1 strike for Nathan Castro. And he sees one he likes, and he just has a little bit of a throw the bat at the ball, and it fouled out into it's probably the grassed area here at Blacktown International Sports Park. So that evens it up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. And now he just throws the ball throws the bat at the ball. And it goes in between Zach Newbold and Jackson Forbes. But Jackson Forbes, who was backing up, does just enough to actually get the ball and throw it over to the first baseman for a 6-3 for the first out. So that's 1 out for Fresno, and now we go back to the top of the order for centre fielder number 3, Julian Lopez. And again, still an opportunity knocking on the door for Fresno. See if they can get this win or get a couple more runs to, but not like that. I don't think they are. Only saw one pitch. That's gone. He dropped it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And that's why you keep running. You know, you see them just jogging up. You got to keep running.
I think that's opportunity knocking.
Yeah, for sure.
There we go. There we go. See, nerves and tension, and who wants the win? Who wants the game?
Yep.
So an E3 on that one, because that should have been pretty as you like. Just camp underneath it, let the ball come into your glove. But as it is, Julian Lopez standing on first. Emilio Luna, the right fielder, number 23, standing in the batting box. And he's had a sacrifice fly, a triple to right field, and a put-out 3 for his 2 at-bats. And a lot of chirping coming from the Fresno bench, which is actually really good to see, and they're just trying to bring everybody up. And again, yes, they're trailing by 4 runs, but they're still having a good time, which you can only sort of think, yep, it's good.
The fans are also getting into it. They've brought a few fans with them this tournament.
And Zach Newbold gets his radar online and comes back with 1 strike. So it's 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on in the shape of Julian Lopez. And we are in the bottom of the 7th inning. So, the ending of the game after this dig as the runner goes and might be toast. No, slid around. So Julian Lopez did a wonderful job of sliding around that tag. So very good stolen base. I thought he was toast. As the return throw from Brendan Tangaroa was in time. But the sliding Lopez well and truly got around the tag.
The Fresno bench really liked that one. They really liked that call.
Oh. Luna goes down on strikes. That was a great hack.
Yes, it was.
Great swing. It unfortunately doesn't catch up to it. So last chance saloon for Fresno. 2 out. And that will bring to the plate the shortstop, number 13, Aviram Ramirez, who's had a single to 8, fly 8, and a fly 9. So obviously hits hard. And first pitch is low. I thought it might have got that front corner, but not to be, says the umpire. So we've got one ball and one on. Must have been up
Did
around
you call
the
that a
letters.
strike?
Yep. Yeah, that one
Seemed to be a little high to me.
Yeah, I thought it was too, but we might have deception from the where the height is. So one ball, one strike, one on. And next one is just an off speed. It must have been late breaking.
The runner takes third. He was quick.
Oh, he did take it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Very, very quick. Yeah, so and I suppose the Navy Ruse, I think, well, he doesn't hurt us. So, you forget about him. And there's the next pitch, and I think this might be the ball game for the Navy Ruse, as that is a deep fly from Aviram Ramirez, but it goes down the throat of Cooper Garth out there at right field, and that draws a conclusion to a wonderful game of baseball here at Blacktown International Sports Park on Diamond 1 in the 2018 World Boys Tournament. Absolutely fantastic game here, and the Navy Ruse, they take the game 7-3, and it's 7 runs off 8 hits, but they did concede 3 errors. And on the other side of the ledger, we had Fresno, got to 3 runs off 5 hits and conceded 3 errors. What are your thoughts, man?
I think that that was a really good game. We anticipated it to be a pretty good game, and what it all comes down to is defense. We saw a few errors, and I think that's a little bit what that game was all about. But overall, we finally got to the 7th inning, and so we still have another great game of baseball left after this. Japan is taking on the Sky Rouge right here on Diamond 1, and we're excited for that.
Yeah, and it says on the schedule that it's due to start at 5 o'clock, but I think that's going to be a little bit later because we did start a little bit late here. But on the other diamond, we've had Hawaii and the Red Ruse, and we're also going to have Hawaii take on San Diego on the outer diamond as well. So there's still a couple of games. And then I suppose the business end of the tournament comes down or starts tomorrow with semi-finals, and then it'll also culminate on Tuesday with the medal rounds and some of the lower pool, the lower games in the secondary pools will be playing off for a couple of sheep stations, I think. Yeah. So so there's still plenty of baseball here coming at you from Blacktown International Sports Park, and we're going to be covering as many of the games on Diamond 1 as we possibly can, and we'll be back probably or hopefully within the next half hour or so. We're going to get a little bit of water and maybe an ice cream and stretch our legs, because it is 7 innings that we've been here, so we should be having the 7th inning stretch. So until the next broadcast, we wish you well. Good night.